Hello, this is Mr. Sexton, and welcome to day 2 of the Winter 2019 PS 103 Winter Session class. And I'm assuming, since I have not heard from anybody, that the Moodle worked fine for everybody. Everybody was able to watch the introductory video yesterday and complete the academic honesty agreement. And please, if you have any questions about anything that you read in the syllabus, listened to on that introductory video, or had to deal with on the academic honesty quiz, please make sure you get a hold of me, because as you should be aware, that you're going to be held accountable for all the rules and regulations and standards that were laid out in those documents. So please make sure you contact me if you have any questions about any of that. Okay, as was mentioned in the course introductory video, each day during the week I'm going to give you one of these daily update videos to kind of give you an idea of where we're going for that day's material. Today's material is going to cover chapter 1 of the textbook, and it's entitled American Political Culture. So, of course, what you need to be focusing on as you read this chapter is understanding what we mean by the term of political culture. And a big part of political culture is going to deal with government. And you're going to have to look at things like how governments make their decisions, the different types of governments we find around the world. Political culture is also greatly impacted by the amount of trust that citizens have in their government. In addition to that, we're going to take a look at the form of government that we use here in the United States. As most of you are probably aware from your elementary school, junior high school, and high school civics classes, we live in a democracy. Sort of. We're going to, in this chapter, have you taking a look at the difference between a democracy, or a true democracy, and the form of democratic government that we have here in the United States. So make sure you pick up on the differences between true democracy or direct democracy and what we call a republic. Okay, we're also going to take a look at other things when we look at the political culture. We're going to be looking specifically at the political culture of the United States. So obviously we're going to be taking a look at the demographics. We're going to be taking a look at, the age of Americans. We're going to be taking a look at the race of Americans, the income levels of Americans, and those types of things are addressed in this chapter as well. So please realize that this chapter is going to start to give you some of the basis that you'll need to start looking in more detail at our country and at the government that we have here in the United States. But make sure you take away from here a definition of what government is. Make sure you take away an understanding or definition of the process that is used by governments in making decisions. Make sure you understand the level of trust that we as Americans have in our government today and be able to compare that to the level of trust that we had for our government in years past. Be able to explain why our level of trust in government has changed. There's a concept addressed in the textbook chapter called political efficacy or efficacy. Make sure you understand what that means. Be familiar with the different types of governments we find around the world. And then make sure you have a very good, strong understanding of the difference between a democracy and the form of government that we have in the United States called a republic. Now, one last thing I want to say in this video, being that it's the first one, make sure you are looking at the study guide that's provided for you at the end of the chapter, because that study guide gives you a list of key concepts and key terms that you'll need to understand. Because in this video, I just gave you a couple of the key terms to know, like democracy versus republic and political efficacy. There is a whole list of specific terms that you'll need to know. And please, when reading the chapter and looking at the study guide, do more then just memorize the definitions of those terms. Because when it comes time for the exams, you are not going to be asked to simply tell me the definitions of these terms. You're going to be asked to be able to put those definitions in your own words and be able to answer questions about those concepts. So reading the textbook is more than just reading the definitions and memorizing those definitions. You need to read what is in that paragraph or in that page or in that section of the book surrounding those terms. Okay, so this first chapter is a relatively brief one, and it deals with government, political culture in the United States and around the world. Make sure you're getting a hold of me when you get a chance. If you have any questions at all, you've got my cell phone number and you've also got my email address. Well, good luck, and I hope this first chapter goes well for you.